All right, so let's be honest. When you hear the word staff meeting, do you feel excited, or do you immediately start thinking of ways to fake a scheduling conflict? Some church teams avoid meetings altogether. Others spend so much time in meetings that they barely had time for ministry. So what's the right balance? And more importantly, how do you make your staff meetings actually matter? Today we're going to dive into why regular staff meetings aren't just necessary, but they can actually fuel the health and success of your team, but only if you do them right. Okay? So we're going to talk about that today here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name is Todd Rhodes, one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com. And the reality is a healthy church staff does need regular check-ins, and this is a big but, not all meetings are created equal. You know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And when it comes to church staff meetings, there are really two extremes, and I've seen both in multiple churches. The first extreme, I should say, and it's a stream, I guess, as well, is the we never meet camp. All right. So if you're in a church that never has a staff meeting, chances are you're in a church that essentially says, hey, we're flying by the seat of our pants, just hoping everybody just knows what they're supposed to be doing. That kind of a church. It's the we never meet camp. The other extreme is we meet way too much camp. Okay. And if you're in this kind of a church, you spend more time in meetings than you actually do doing ministry. The truth is you really need to have a balanced but intentional rhythm that will help you with your communication and your staff alignment and your encouragement. And regular staff meetings, not too many, not none at all. It's like Goldilocks, just right. Regular staff meetings matter. And here are some reasons why. They help with that clarity and alignment piece. Without clear communication, team members tend to, it's like a football team running random plays with no game plan. They're playing the game, but they're not winning. Regular meetings help keep everybody on the same page. I was even a part of a church where I was an elder, and a staff member came to me and said, I just want to know what game we're playing. Yeah. So anyway, clarity and alignment is one of the reasons why regular staff meetings really make a difference. They also make a difference because they can help with your culture and unity, right? Ministry is really hard. You know that, and you can't afford to operate in these isolated silos. Staff meetings help to build trust. They help to tear down those silos. They help to build that trust and camaraderie that you absolutely have to have. And it helps to also build that sense of shared mission. And it also includes staff meetings help you with your accountability and your momentum. Just those regular check-ins help people stay focused on priorities of the organization and your church and help prevent that ministry drift. It puts up some of those guardrails that you need. So if you don't set direction intentionally, and meetings are one of the evil ways that you have to use to do it, right? If you don't set that direction intentionally, ministry can quickly turn into just putting out fires. We've all been there. And then the last reason I think it's really important for you to have regular check-ins, regular church staff meeting is for no other reason than to encourage each other and pray with each other. And sometimes staff meetings aren't about necessarily logistics and this and that and making sure everything, all the heavy lifting gets done. And it's not all about that. Sometimes your team needs to share wins. We talked about that yesterday here on the podcast. Sometimes, though, your team just needs to pray for each other and to be reminded and support each other. This is why we do what we do. Okay, so here's the bottom line for today. I don't know where you are. Every church is in a different spot, right? Maybe you're in the we never meet camp. Maybe you're in the we meet too much camp. Maybe you're in the just right camp, but move toward that center because staff meetings do count. They don't have to be long. They don't have to be boring. Matter of fact, if they're too long, you might not be having enough. If they're too boring, you may be having too many. They do need to be consistent, though. They need to be clear, and they need to be intentional, and they need to be planned. We're going to be talking about staff meetings more here in the future here on the podcast, so keep watching, keep listening as well. Try this. something for you to try. In your next staff meeting, start with some wins. We talked about this, I believe, yesterday on the podcast. Take 5 minutes and just ask your team, hey, what's one thing that's really going well? Or what's one thing that went well this past week? And you'd be surprised how just even that little habit takes no more effort on your part. It can change the entire tone of your staff meetings. I would love to hear, what is your staff meeting rhythm like? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear about it. Shoot me an email anytime, podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. And if your church is struggling with any kind of staff issues, team alignment, hiring the right staff people, I'd love to hear about that as well and see if there's a way I could partner with you. Chemistry Staffing and my work at Chemistry is all about helping churches and individuals build healthy, effective teams. So reach out anytime, podcast@chemistrystaffing.com, so we can keep this conversation going, just you and me. All right, thanks. Remember, healthy staff meetings make for healthier teams, and healthier teams make for healthier churches. You've got this. I'm with you. I'm for you. And I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.